Silvervale announced that she is debuting her Sakura Goddess model today, which is the form that she has in the VShojo Mythos series, so I suspect there will be lore attached to it, her first personal installment in the VShojo Mythos series. But before we can dive into potential new lore, we should check out her existing lore, because she already uploaded 3 videos about her origins and backstory, including her connection to her family, because both her mom and her brother are also VTubers. Let's get into it.
Now, little one, I will tell you a story.
This is narrated by her mother.
In a realm not so different from your own, there stood
this
a tree.
is really pretty.
It was barren, except for one lone flower, and in it slumbered a spirit.
Just look at the
The spirit
colors.
slumbered for thousands of years, until a wolf pack came upon the shade of its branches.
Oh, little
Their love
wolfies.
and companionship nurtured the flower, and as more and more gathered, so grew the tree. They lived in harmony for many eons, until that is, there were wolves no more, except for one small pup, abandoned and alone. The flower waited and waited, but they never came back. So from the weight of her sadness, the beautiful flower began to wilt. Long
How do you
for her
feel
lost
sad about a
companions,
flower? But I
she
feel that
mustered
now.
out the last of her ethereal magics, merging her spirit with that of the wolf, and called upon the wind as he carried her on a journey to another world.
Wow. That video is called The Paddle, and like I said, it's narrated by her mother, which gives it a whole personal touch, and I really love it. And explains the backstory of how she became this Sakura Blossom Wolf hybrid spirit. And it's so beautifully told. It's only a minute long, and I feel like it's such a unique backstory as well. Like playing with all these mystical things, but keeping it very original. A lot of people dive into a lot of mythology and existing fantasy tropes, and Silver just went like, yo, I'm just a Sakura spirit that mixed with a wolf. Now I'm a Sakura wolf spirit. It works so well.
It's calming when I blend into the bustling crowd.
This art is
under
also
the
so
soft
beautiful.
glow of the city lights, headphones hiding me from the world.
Oh.
Occasionally, I would find myself thinking of my old realm, of simpler times and beloved bonds long broken.
Those headphones are really
But
cool.
no matter how strange and scary and different this place was, I liked
I love the detail of her stream deck and just her general setup. And it's probably very accurate to what she had at the moment, like her microphone and her mouse and her mouse pad and all her other things. It's so pretty. I love this.
They had ways to make friends all over the world. I wasn't alone anymore.
No.
They made me so happy.
Silver.
I
I don't want to cry.
The power of their budding love, joy, and childlike wonder gave me the strength to carry on. They stopped my wilting,
Oh, this looks so cool.
and as I changed them, they changed me.
Oh,
They love me for who I am.
look at
A
you.
messy mix of a wistful, fragile little flower blown away in the wind, and a playful and resilient wolf dedicated to her pack. I love them, and they love me. And together we'll take on the harsh world, spreading joy and wonder, one petal at a time.
Oh. The music fits so well. This is so good. Oh. This is totally different. Like, this didn't really go into her origins, but more what she is and wants to be, and how her current life is going as a spirit that's now in the human world. And I liked how it brought up she's a combination between a scared wilted flower and a resilient wolf ready to defend her pack and very loyal to it as well. I feel like it might be an analogy for how Silver is, that she is two things. Something weak that needs help and something ready to protect those they love. And it's okay to be both because they can strengthen one another to be the most rich version of yourself that you can be. I did not expect this lore to go this deep, and it's so beautiful. So this third video revisits her origin story and rewrites it a little bit to be a bit more complete, but also to include both her mother's lore and her brother's lore as one connected universe, as it may. Look at the little guy. So cute. And that's Mama Phil. That's her mother.
A nature goddess watched over the world. She spent ages alone, watching the world but not feeling an attachment to it. To pass the time and ease the loneliness she felt, she decided to create herself a family.
Well,
she created a boy and a girl, opposites but alike, good and evil. One took the form of a Sakura spirit to nurture the world and foster joy.
yeah.
The other took the shape of a demon
He's so cute.
to grow strong from the darkness of the world and seek knowledge.
And that's her brother.
As time passed,
He's a
the children
VTuber too.
grew, and as they were born of a powerful goddess, so too did their powers grow. The demon had embraced the shadows of the world. He
These
had
effects are
reveled
so
in their
cool.
power. He had grown too strong, and she knew that only his equal could quell his desire for destruction. The Sakura spirit, heartbroken at what her brother had become, eagerly offered to assist in sealing the demon away until he had been cleansed. The demon, lured by what remained of his humanity, was captured and entombed deep underground.
This is such a sad story.
Spirit used the last of her magics to form a giant tree on top of the tomb. Her roots seeped in.
This is the same tree as we saw in the first video, but now we know the origins of why this tree is there. And they did rewrite a few points, I believe, to match the storyline, but the overall arcing story is still the same. It's just bigger and more detailed.
Into the ground, emanating a soothing aura to calm the demon and soaking up the evil that had infused him. Ages passed, and the evil of the demon had tainted the land, so much so that she could no longer contain it. It had wilted the tree and made the land unfit for wildlife, especially the Sakura's
I'm so entranced in the story, I don't have many words.
After all this time, the goddess's heart ached at
We
what
don't
had
really
become of her
see
children.
a lot of
She
brother-sister
had wanted them to
relationships
better
in
the world
VTubing.
with their different talents, to explore and gain knowledge, spread joy, not to be destroyed in such a way. And with all the strength of a loving mother, she aided the spirit in merging with the lone wolf, so that she could survive and live on in another world far from here.
And that's how she became
Taking
so
solace in the fact that her son and daughter would survive and thrive, the goddess receded, but the demon's tomb had been left unguarded. The perfect opportunity for a beautiful lone necromancer to revive
The design of that
the
necromancer is
greatest
really
evil
cool.
of the past.
But that's not where it ends. Kansatsu, the demon brother in question, also has a lore video, where the first part is the exact same thing that we just watched, but with an attached second part exploring his side of the story and where this left off and after he was being freed by the sad necromancer.
In an age long past, a demon ruled over the land with destruction and malice. The corruption
love
of
his narrating
humanity
voice so
turned him
much.
towards this path, and countless towns burned in response. On a night of a blood moon, after a long battle against the combined forces of the humans and spirits of the land, the demon walked into a trap.
Oh, I love the style of this video so much. It's such the opposite of what we just saw from Silver.
Overconfidence had driven the demon into a powerful binding spell. Ethereal chains.
I'm
sapped
impressed
his
with these
strength
visual effects.
as they forced him to the ground. Captured and looking up at a club infused with a familiar energy, the demon knew it was the end.
Yeah.
The club met its mark.
Oh, the heartbeat is so unnerving.
Demon
It's so
felt
good.
himself fading away, his power being drained by the energy within the wood of the club. Ages passed, and the demon lay sealed within a tomb. Power was being drained slowly through the land around it. Many knew of the resting place, but none had ventured to the heart of the tomb.
And there we have our
except for one
necromancer.
lone necromancer who had the confidence in her abilities to raise the fabled demon once again. She ventured into the tomb, breaking the barriers that had been weakened with time.
I love the slight distortion on the art.
She found the sealed
I'm just
coffin
watching
that
in
held the
anticipation.
demon
I forget the
and
comment.
removed the final seals.
Hey, yo, the music? Oh, that's so good.
Casting her necromantic spell, seeking to bind the power of the demon to her will, she raised
Whoa.
him back from the dead.
This is so pretty and well animated.
After an overwhelming burst of power, the woman opened her eyes to see a more intense presence than she had ever expected.
Her eyes are really gold.
She knew that this demon was far outside anything she had ever seen, even in its weakened
She
state,
really just fucked
and
around and
she
found
had
out.
no hope of controlling it. She fell to her knees in awe as the skeletal form pulled itself out of the coffin.
Imagine trying to summon
She
a
couldn't
demon and you
move.
realize, oh
She
shit,
sat
I
there
shouldn't have done
stunned
that.
as he walked towards her.
The details on that mask. Oh,
He reached down and slowly tilted her head up towards him. And as she looked into his eyes, she felt herself be bound to his will.
the subtleties. I felt that with how the camera panned up.
Together, they would search the world
Oh,
for
I have
ways to
goosebumps. This
regain
is
his
good.
original power and see if this new world was worth saving, like his sister had claimed, or if it must be cleansed, like the world of the past.
I'm vibing on the music. Whoever he hired, amazing. Oh, that's sick art. That's an amazing throne. Actually impressive. So for context, all of these videos came out in 2020 and 2021, pretty much at the beginning of the English VTuber boom. VTuber lore didn't really have a precedent yet, so having videos this well animated and this extra and this fleshed out was really impressive back then. Just to think about it, the VShojo Mythos series just started last year. It's very new and it's done by a very high-end production company. So to have a bunch of indies just on their own have a video like this, it's really impressive. And I love looking at early VTuber lore because they're so different than what we see nowadays. I think they're more original, as nowadays we have so many VTubers that follow very similar tropes. But at the start, people had to like really hone into what they came up with. They didn't really have examples. Like right now, if you want to start as a VTuber and you just see a bunch of VTubers with aesthetics and lore pieces that you like, you can just take a lot of inspiration from everything you see. And I'm not saying it's a shortcut, but it's definitely a lot easier to come up with as someone that doesn't have experience in story writing and creating a character. Those that were at the start, they really had to like hone into what they were doing. I am looking forward to dive into more of the older lore videos from the current big EN VTubers, as they tell such different stories than what VShojo Mythos does, than what people that nowadays debut have as VTuber lores. I also like that Silver and Konzetsu had their lore videos intertwined, connected, that their videos exist in the same universe, that they're connected by their story. Even though they're two completely different beings in their lore as well, they're still family, and so is their mom. So even though they're opposing forces that usually would not exist in the same storyline next to one another, they still do in this one. And I love that. But that's about it for this video. If you want me to cover any specific lore that you love that isn't part of VShojo Mythos, leave it in the comments down below and I will check it out, because I want to get to as many lore videos as possible from people that I adore, or just good storylines, because that's what drives me, story. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.